Oh man, it's been quite a bit of a break since I've done anything on the channel. Haven't had one of these in a good bit, but we are back. It has been, I want to say it's been a week. I want to say, no, it's been less than a week because I did Omniscient Reader last week. So, I'm trying to think that I actually do Omniscient Reader last week. I did. So it's been since Thursday. So it's a good 5 days, right? Yeah, 5 days. I had to count on my fingers. I'm glad you guys can see that. Hopefully all is well. There. I think that was it. Hey everybody. What's up, Henry? What's up, Draconic? You do things on the channel? Don't believe you. I know things have been crazy. Life's been a little crazy in the last week. I won't go into details here, but life has been crazy. We're here. When is the My Hero reaction? Probably this Sunday. We'll do both chapters at once. Things have been going so crazy. I think I put in the Discord something about like missing the My Hero. I completely forgot about the chapter since then. That's my bad. But we'll probably end up doing it. So I'll just do it next Sunday. Not this upcoming Sunday. Forgive me. It's the only free time I'm gonna have because I'm getting back into the swing of things. So we'll do book club today. We'll do Omniscient Reader on Thursday. I'm gonna try to sneak another stream in on Thursday night. Then Friday there's gonna be a little break, so I might try to do another stream on Friday. And then Saturday will be the official start of Spring Anime 2022 for me. So we're gonna be playing catch up on Aoashi and Spy Family, and then Sunday we'll do My Hero as usual. So I'll just do last week's chapter this week, and then we'll be back on track for whenever My Hero comes back. What the heck? Well, okay. What's up, Fel? Hey, everybody. Forgive me for missing time. I feel like I needed this piece. I don't know where it just came from, but okay. All right. So just to remind you guys, we read Bastard, The Beginning After the End, and Black Clover. Those are the 3 series that we're doing. Just in case you forgot, it's been a minute since we've done a book club, and I haven't read any extra. So whatever we were supposed to talk about for last book club, that's exactly what it was. So I didn't read any new content. I reread the stuff that we were supposed to go over last week, and then starting this week, have a good one, Tin King, and then have a good one. Yeah, have a good one. But this week we'll continue forward how we usually do. So I'm gonna start off with Bastard. Well, firstly, I want to say that every the groupings that we read, I was I think I put it in the mod chat, but I was really upset that I couldn't do the stream last week because, like, for Black Clover, it's volume 11 is easily my favorite volume so far that we've read. Like, every single chapter was great. The Beginning After the End was absolutely just like, oh my goodness, like mind-blowing. So many different roller coasters of emotions. And then Bastard was the same way. It's just nothing but roller coastering of my emotions. It was completely just like, wow. And I read Bastard and The Beginning After the End in one night. So it's like The Beginning After the End took me on a roller coaster, took me on a trip, and then dumped me off in the Bastard. And then that continued the downward descent of the roller coaster. And then I took a break, and then I read Black Clover on Monday and was like, oh gosh. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So I usually talk about these in the order that I read them, which means I should talk about The Beginning After the End first. But I always talk about The Beginning After the End second. So I'll just talk about Bastard first. Bastard, pull up this image. I only got one image. I still haven't figured out what I wanted to do for the images yet for Bastard. So I'll pull up this one. It's the last panel of the last chapter we read of chapter 20. Bastard was one hell of a ride because chapter 11 starts off, he clapped cheeks, right? He does all that stuff, and then you see him you get to see him in a situation where it feels like in any sort of different medium you would end up in this situation. Speaking on the father, the dad, speaking on the dad, doesn't deserve to be called the father. Speaking on the dad, you usually would have like the point of view, like you'll have the dad do something, right? And then the dad does something, and then you'll have the point of view of people seeing him do something and then trying to blackmail him, and then you get the blackmail scene like we got in chapter 11. But in this one, it's just like this guy, he's got a hat on, he's got a mask on, his gloves on, coat up, like he does all this stuff. He goes to this meeting and he's like dropping off organs, I think, from the people that he's killed, the women that he has killed. So he does that, and then the people are like, yeah, you keep doing this drop for us, but we about to take this on the house. Like, we're not paying you no more because we know who you are, and you wouldn't want this out in the news. You wouldn't want this circulating. It'll ruin everything for you. So you about to do this on the house for us, so keep it coming. We not paying you, but but you know what the deal is. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, these guys are dead. I'm like, I just saw what this guy looks like. He is ripped, he's shredded. I'm like, he's about to wipe them out. And sure enough, wipe them out. So the point that I wanted to make is, and it's like, it feels like in these, like in like the, not the trope I want to say, but when it comes to like a serial killer that like specifically picks on like women, like someone that is inferior, what's a 5-man, inferior to them, like weaker than them, it kind of feels like you pick on them because they, like, if they were to fight back, they wouldn't have a good chance of fighting back. Clearly that's not the case for him. We know it's not the case for him because of all the mental trauma and images that he places on over the women, over his victims. But he legit just off these guys. Completely just off them. So it's not like, it completely, for me, it did something for my mental where it's just like, oh, it's like he really could just, like, it doesn't matter, like if he wanted to kill guys, he could just go out there and start killing guys, but that's not what gets him off. That's not what satisfies him. So he just sticks to this. But it's clear. It's clear. I think it was clear when, because if he didn't have a persona to carry on, like being the rich man, the CEO of a company, the kind guy that helps people out in public, like if that altercation would have happened with Manny anywhere else, he would have offed Manny. He probably would have beat the hell out of Manny and probably killed him. If that altercation happened anywhere else, like out, like not in public eye, he probably would have destroyed Manny. He probably would have. He probably would have. But moving on from that, I want to talk about Jin, his personality, how he is, because he's not a normal kid. I think that's like very clear. He's not a normal kid. He lives with a serial killer, and he's an accomplice. He's a part of it. Like, he helps his dad do these things from time to time. I don't know if it's every time, but from time to time, it could be every single time, he helps his dad do these things. So he's like an accomplice, unwilling, but he's still an accomplice. And his mental is fractured completely. So you have, in the grouping that we read from 11 to 20, we have a handful of situations where Jin is like either irrational, very irrational, unhinged, and so many different, like, it's like his spectrum just like swings back and forth really fast. And it's probably something I don't even think he realizes that he does, but he does do. Excuse me. The first one being him. The first one, it's clear, like his looks that he gives. Let me see if I could do this. Oh gosh, his looks that he gives. He has like those crazy looks where he'll say something, like the conversation when Manny was talking to him. I can't remember the other guy, like the other people that are under Manny, and he was saying like, Manny, what did Manny say? He was like, he said, what do people have? I'll just pull up the image. But he was asking them like when someone is at a disadvantage, what do they have that someone else might not have? And Jin said something crazy, and they were looking at him like, that's the gist of it, but guts, man. Guts. Wait, I'm gonna pull that image up. Hold on. Because I was like, I know the boys bugged out, but getting to see it play out sometimes in real time is just nuts. Right here. Brutality. I'm just like, okay, Jin, yeah, brutality is it, but we're talking about guts, determination, not giving up, not caring about the other individual, essentially kind of going too far. Yeah, he what was the most important thing in the fight? Yeah. And Jin's like, brutality with the crazy eyes. It's like, you can't do that. Like, Jin, did I say this last time? Jin doesn't monitor his Yagami Light face. Like, Light, he would do his face when no one could see him. Right? No one ever, I'm talking about early in the series. No one would ever, like, catch Light making the crazy face. Like, Light would make the crazy face and no one could see him. Or he'd be cackling in his head and no one can hear him. But Jin is just so bugged out because of his living situation and his situation in life. The crazy face just takes over at any time. It just takes over, and it's like, Jin, whoa, buddy, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that. And that, just to bring up his personality and how it can vastly shift so fast. What's up, Tafad? It can shift so fast. And I can't remember what chapter it was in, but when he's sitting there and his dad is texting him about, did you find the girl? Did you find the girl? And he's sitting there and he's about to reply, nah, I can't find her. And then he looks out the window and sees her talking to another boy, and he completely just like it's like he snaps for a second. And he literally deletes his text message, like he didn't press send, he deletes it, and he's like, yeah, he's about to say, yeah, I found her, because she's like laughing and talking with another boy. But then, have a good one, appreciate you. But then she looks over, sees him, and then waves, and then he deletes it again and then puts back, no, I haven't found her. So it's like, bro, like, if she really was talking to this guy in a more than just friends kind of way, he was gonna sell her out. Goodness gracious! Like, if something like that sets him off over the edge, he's already on that slippery slope. Like, what if like something happens and he ends up exactly like his dad? He's on the brink already. Like, he's on the brink already. So it's like one of these situations could literally spiral him out of control. Literally. And it's scary. It's scary because I think right now, as I'm 20 chapters into this 90-something chapter series, there's an end that's close inside, like close. As it is right now, I'm hoping that, like, in my brain, I'm like, this series is going to do this. So it's going to start off here. We're going to get the boy. We're introduced to this boy, his struggles, and these characters that get wrapped up in his struggles. And bad things are going to happen. And hopefully he can overcome the demon in his life, which is his dad. And however that may be, kill him, report him, send him to jail, whatever it is. But that one moment literally got me to think, well, what if this series doesn't go on this path of Jin getting out of this situation better than what we were introduced to him in? And what if he does go down a slippery slope? What if this girl does get killed by his dad? What if he kills her? What if he kills his dad and then continues on doing what his dad was doing? Like, I started to ask myself more questions about what this series could become than locking myself into thinking Jin is going to get out of this at the end. I'm an optimistic person. Jin is gonna get out of this. He's going to get out of this. I don't know if it's gonna be a complete happy ending for him, but it's not gonna be that bad. It's not gonna be not that bad. It's gonna be bad, but it's going to end with him like not being in jail, possibly being in a different kind of facility, or like having lifelong therapy, or working his way through these things, hopefully. And I feel like once we read 21 to 30, we might get another one of these kind of scenes or some more information, and I might have a better idea of what might happen with this character, because right now it's very up in the air. It's very, very up in the air. And I'm very long-winded about this series. But my last point that I wanted to talk about was what's her name? Kun Yoon? I think that's her name. She deserved every bit of this yelling at. I'll pull this image back up. Hold on. She deserved every bit of this, because my goodness, I was so aggravated, frustrated, tense. I had to reread the whole grocery store, like the convenience store, grocery store scene. I had to reread it like twice, because I was like, I had to understand the layout of the store and where the cameras were placed. Because I read it and then stopped. I didn't get to the point where like he realized he had the phone and he realized he didn't see her. But I read it, I stopped, I was like, I'm not understanding. I went back and I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm going through and I'm like, this girl dodged a bullet by this much. And I really was sitting there fuming, because I'm like, how could you leave your phone in the store? How could you do that? And then I had to like pull myself back, because I've left my store in a grocery store. I've left my phone in a grocery store before, and I went right back for it and it was gone. So I had to walk it back, because it's not out of the realm of possibility of accidentally setting your phone down to grab some. And funny enough, I was in the cold section of the grocery store trying to get something, and I sat it down, I picked it up, and then just blanked, right? And then just blanked. I didn't even think I got outside. I was like, my phone. And then I went back for it, gone. Whoever was behind me see me put it down, swiped it, bum. You're a bum if you're out there and you took my phone. Trash. It was a Galaxy anyways. Double trash. But I had to pull back on absolutely going crazy. But I'm like so with him in this moment, because we have more information than we know less than what Jin knows, but we know more than every other character in the series that we know of. So it's just like, girl, of all the places to leave your phone, right? Of all the places to leave it, and of all the people to pick it up, it was him. So now it's not much that Jin can do to protect you, because Jin could have lied, but for so long. I don't think Dad was gonna let him continue to lie. Like, I can't keep finding, like, there's no, like, your school can't be that big. Like, if I'm like thinking as a dad, I'd be like, Jin, your school is not that big. If you don't find this girl, I'm gonna hurt you. Your school's not that big. You can find her. I'm not asking you to be friends with her or anything. Or maybe he is. I think he wants, he doesn't care. He just, maybe you need to find this girl. That's what he wants Jin to do. But there's like, I feel like there's only but so long he could have said no to his dad. So I would have rather Jin been like, I found her, but I can't get close to her, something like that, and deal with those consequences, than having this man turn into freaking Ethan Hunt, Mission Impossibling, super spy James Bonding his way into this girl's address. His dad is freaking creepo. When he called the people, the loan sharks that she owed money to, that heard the debt she got left, I was like, and when they were like, she said the meetup, I'm like, he's with the old man. He's the bum on the ground. I'm like, there's no one else around. There's no way that this guy is just going to be off on the side looking behind a building or from a corner. I'm like, he's right there. I'm like, he's right there. He's right there. He just wanted them to show up because he know they would be mad that she lied about coming and go to her place, because if you know if she owes you money, you know where she lives because you've gone to collect and she probably hasn't been there. So it's just like, this man is evil smart. He's super evil smart. Super duper evil smart. and it's just like, now it's like, what do you do? The question is, and the thing that I'm really stressing about is Jin called her phone. There's no way his dad doesn't know his number. I think his dad was so in here, he didn't even look at the number. I think he was so in here because he had this girl's phone. He had her phone. He's like on his way to her place. And he's like, oh, is this the person who's like, is this it? Are you the person who owns this phone? He probably didn't even check. If he looks at that call log and see Jin's number, all hell is going to break loose. And that's what I'm really shook up about. The phone can't go missing at home. So Jin can't go snooping around for that phone. He cannot. Jin cannot. Because if the phone goes missing, guess what? Either like if the blonde chick was at their place, their apartment, he's gonna kill her for snooping because he's gonna think she found something and she's a reporter and she's gonna die. Or he's gonna know that Jin did it, and he's gonna be like, Jin, why'd you take the phone? I don't think there's any kind of lie excuse that Jin could come up with that could be like, oh, I took the phone because of this. There's no way. So it's just like, how do we get out of this? I'm like super intrigued on how we get out of this. The cliffhanger on this one was so nasty. It was so nasty that I need to know what's next. So I'm dying to read. Like, you know how hard it was for all of these series not to just keep reading in the week that I couldn't do book club? Killing me. It was killing me. All these series ended in a spot where I wanted to see more. Every single one. I've talked almost a half an hour about Bastard. I really like this series. What's up, Ivan? How are you? I really, really, really like this series. It's great. It's a great series. All right. I really like this series. All right. Let me move on. I gotta make better. Oh, not yet. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. There we go. Now, the beginning after the end. What'd I do? There we go. All right. The beginning after the end. I did not even have to sidetrack you. I know. Bastard's really good. Bastard is really good. It's a great selection. I'm glad it won the poll. I had no idea what the series was about. You know what I gotta do some research. I don't know what kind of research I'm gonna do, but I might do an executive decision, and we're gonna catch up to the beginning after the end in 2 weeks. So not this week, but next week we should be. Not this week. Next week we'll be caught up. So I think I might do an executive decision and do Sweet Home in place of it because it's from the same author. And so far, so good with Bastard. So why not pick something up like that? Black Clover is going to be here for the long run. So that's why it's locked in that third spot. It's like my comfort food at this point. But all right, the beginning after the end. This grouping of chapters, it started off tame, right? It started off really tame, but I just knew something bad was gonna happen. I just knew something terrible was gonna happen. I just knew it. So they're selling you on this budding teenage romance, and all this garbage that doesn't mean anything, right? And it's just like, all right, cool. I'm talking about everything. Let me hit my points so that we could be on point with this. First point, and I picked 4. It's the only, I usually do 3 points for each series, and if I babble, I babble, but I usually babble on a point. The beginning of the end is the only one I picked 4 points for, because first point, I need Elijah and Art's friendship to work. It's not that I want it to work. I need it to work. I need it. And I feel like it's going to go down the drain because it's something that I've been thinking, but it's not anything that I don't even think I put it in the Discord. Every time I think about it, I don't put it in the Discord. And it's not anything I've talked about in stream. But since we've gotten to Cyrus Academy, Elijah's character went in the dumps. Like he kind of became comedic relief. He's chasing after the girl. He just wants, like, he wants to essentially, I don't know if he like wants to fit in, but he just, like, he's chasing after the girl. He wants to do all the things that a young not even a prepubescent, but a pubescent boy. He wants to do all of those things. And he's not good at it. He's not good at it. But that's what he wants to do. Gosh. So for me, it's just like when Elijah would show up, it was funny, yes. But for his character, that's not what I fell in love with his character for. I fell in love with his character because of like the mystique, not knowing that much about him. Even when we start finding out more things about him, it didn't take away from the mystique of his character. Yes, I still want him to be a kid. I want him to be young. Like, he's not Art. He's not a grown man stuck inside of a kid's body. He's still a kid. So it's like I can accept those qualities from Elijah. I'm not expecting that from him. But it just became very one note. It became very, oh my gosh, Art this. Oh my gosh, Art that. Oh, you do this, you do that. You're a little weird. This, that, blah, 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 blah. It was the same thing every time we seen Elijah. And then, and it's, if that would have been their relationship, it would have sucked because I like Elijah a lot. But it would have been fine because Art and Elijah would just be friends. Whenever, and the panel is going to show up in a little bit, but whenever they're having their spar, and Art is having he's like he's in his mind complimenting Elijah on like how, like, if he did this, if he trained a little more, he did that, like he has the framework to be a really good swordsman, and he's already a good mage at that. Like, he has the potential to be someone very powerful, very strong. Like, he could do this. And then whatever happens with Elijah, and he gets like, I'm thinking that what he saw, that like that's what he saw when he looked at Art. He saw like the vision of King Gray behind Art, and then all of these words, and I'm like, I put that in the Discord. What, like, is that stuff he's getting from Art, or are those his own emotions just screaming out because he's having this experience? And he's like, it feels like, it gives me like Omniscient Reader vibes, where it's like, it feels like Elijah is having a moment in which he's interacting with someone that should not be here, right? Art should not be here in the state that he's in. Art, the 13-year-old Art that was born to Alice and Ray, that should be a kid here. But King Ray inhabiting Art, no, I don't think that should be someone that actually, I don't want to see her, should actually be here. So it gave me a little bit of Omniscient Reader vibes, where the fourth wall activates and it suppresses Doksha from actually like feeling all this intense pain and realizing that like all of these things of being in this fictional world to him it like numbs him out. It shuts him out. And it feels like Elijah had that moment, but he didn't have, like, he came into contact with something that was like otherworldly, and he didn't have anything to suppress it for him. So he just ran off. And I'm pretty sure all the words were all of his own emotions, because he already like Art already has everything that Elijah wants. Like, just his personality. I don't think he's ever made like the physical appearance like degrading his own self, Elijah. But pretty much everything Art has, Elijah's kind of like, it's kind of been like joked, like, you're like the perfect package, blah 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 blah. Like, you save princesses and all this stuff. And I'm hoping all of those things weren't projections from Elijah onto Art and driving their friendship away. Because I was like, initially I was hoping that, and then as you kept reading more chapters, you find out that Elijah's not around that much anymore. Elijah and Art really don't hang out anymore. Art shows up, Elijah leaves. So, and then we don't get any more on that asset or facet of the story, because things go crazy on the other side. But it had me thinking, that is Elijah staying away because he's trying to figure out this ability that he has, or is he staying away because he deep down felt those things, and this encounter, this interaction brought them to the surface, and now Elijah actually, like, he's like holding that in his heart for real, like for real, and like he doesn't even want to be around Art, but he doesn't want to come off as like terrible, so he just leaves. I need the relationship to work. I need it to work. Because I'm thinking from Art's perspective. Art already is going through so much. Like, so much. The last thing I want this boy to be going through is someone that he deemed a friend, like, turning on him. That would suck. Because I think that would be the first time in Art's life someone that, I'm not counting Lucas, because I don't think we ever viewed Lucas as an ally. Lucas was just someone that was alongside of us on this journey, and he screwed us. But Elijah would be the first person that was a friend. Like, if like, this panel's so freaking fire. If Elijah were indeed, like, if their friendship really were to dissolve and they were to become oppositions of any kind, it'd be the first time where Art has had someone, in a sense, betray him. Like, Lucas is trash. Yeah, Lucas turned on them, and we see how he's handled that. So I can't imagine Art's reaction to Elijah, someone that he confided in, he grew fond of, he grew close to, he let in, like, you've been in my home, you've met my family, you are a friend, and I do not have many of them in this world. And you turn on me like that really would, I feel like that would hurt. We've seen the mental gymnastics that Art had to go through in his relationship with Tess, and everything that they just went through in the last 20 chapters. But to have that happen with Elijah that would suck. That would suck really bad. And I don't want it. It's probably going to happen, but I don't want it whatsoever. I've only talked about one of my points. I'll speed this up. This junk popped off so crazy. Second point is when they go in this dungeon. When they go in this dungeon, and I put this in the Discord 100%. I feel like it was so clear. I'm not gonna say it's terrible writing. It's just so clear. Whenever Byron and Alia show up to give the report to Cynthia about the dungeons and all this stuff and how things are weird, and Professor Glory, he looks like Enryu, he looks like Hassan from Fate. And you get like, they give the report about the dungeons, like everything's out of whack, and Professor Glory's not going to be able to go where she usually goes. She's going to go somewhere else. I'm like, clearly whatever's happening with these individuals, like with the Lances are reporting back to Cynthia, is clearly going to affect this class. And sure enough, we get into the dungeon, and the dungeon, like, nothing's around. We can't find anything. And then all the freaking bears all at one point, and they're tough, and this shouldn't be this way, and this shouldn't be this way. And then the big, disgusting, gigantic mama bear thingy mabob, whatever the heck it was, I remember looking at it and saying a bunch of expletives as I was sitting here, shows up, and we realize like we're in deeper than we thought. And this leads me to my point of, Art decided to come to Cyrus Academy to train and to hone all of his skills, because we clearly know he wants to get rid of the Wykes family by any means necessary. Lucas has done that to them all, and he can't divulge his information to anyone because he would be dissected and torn apart to figure out why he is the way he is, his situation. And he's suppressed his power so that he wouldn't gain any more attention than he's already gaining, because he's already, like, even with his repression, he's a dual elemental. Yeah, draconic. Like, he's a dual elemental, and that's already a big deal to all the people in the academy. There's no way he could have walked around the academy being a quadra elemental and people just not be fine. So for Art to realize that once again he's in a situation in which he tried to hold back for the sake of something, and holding back is gonna possibly end up in more people getting hurt. So he breaks the restraint, and he decides, he's like, I can't hold back anymore. I can't keep doing this. And I'm with him. I'm glad that it doesn't take multiple of these situations to happen for him to realize that. This is one of the second times that we get to see Art specifically go into a dungeon and have that whole entire operation just go terribly. Just have it go so poorly. The first one when Lucas betrayed everyone, and this time whenever things are just out of whack. And I'm glad that he had that moment where he's like, I can't hold back. He's like, if I'm able to save people, like, so what if I have to give up this? Like, this needs to happen. And him releasing that and everything, like his tandem attacks and working with Glory against all the people. So it was so good. It was so good. But then we end up in, this takes me right to my third point. We end up falling into the abyss, off the precipice. And we fall into a graveyard. Not even a graveyard. It's, what can we call it? I think I'll say a graveyard. It's just nothing but just death everywhere. This really did a number on me. A slaughter ground. It's, we walk up and we see all these individuals, and then they show us Alia. And for an individual that we literally met her, she's been in a couple of panels, and I've never felt more impacted by a side character than when you get to see her, especially in the state that she was in. I wasn't gonna save any images of her like that, but what this monster did to her, take her eyesight, brutalize her, take her legs, like all of, like, for a character we literally met once. Our main character had our main character had one interaction with this character, right? One interaction, and we got to see her in maybe a couple of more panels. And I was so impacted. It really hurt. Like, it really rocked me. Like, it really rocked me. I was like, wow. Because I don't know why, just her character. I'm like, I really like this girl. I really do. Like, she seemed sweet. She seemed nice. She just seemed someone that like would be really cool to have stick around. And just to see her like that was like unbelievable to me. It was it really messed me up. It really did. And I was like, wow. Like, whoa. Now, yeah, it's definitely a way to establish future power scaling, but it is to know that Alia wasn't the best at physical hand-to-hand combat. She was like, I think she said if she wasn't the worst, she was one of the worst when it came to that, but her perception skills was top-notch. It was the top of all the lances. So for like whatever this Hassan looking being with the long fingers, yeah, it's extremely strong, because Alia couldn't landed one hit, and that man did that to her. That thing, that monster. That's my fourth point. What the hell is that? It rocked me. It rocked me. Now my one question is, because the 120, I don't remember what chapter it was, but whatever chapter we ended on, I think we ended on 120. It ended with Art. He made his way out of the dungeon. Sylvie shows up. We get to go back. We get back into the capital, and Art has his meeting, not even a meeting, but he talks to Cynthia, and he presents her tags to Cynthia, and she's like rocked to her core. Like, you can't, like, the students can't get involved. And it makes me think, does Art tells her, right, what he saw? He got to see it all because Alia showed it to him. He showed exactly, like, she showed him exactly what happened to her. So does he relay that information? Is that something he does? I feel like I'm asking these questions like there's no way Art would withhold that information. There's like no possible way. Like we found the individual that has that is not from, I forgot the name of their continents. What's the name of it? Drexel? I don't remember. Like, we found, like, this, I'm pretty sure this being is the being that is not from our land. I don't remember. Dickathen. Thank you. I don't remember. I remember he said she walked away and he said something, but I don't remember what it was. What did he say? Like, I don't know if it made it seem like that was the first conversation they've had since he's come back, but I don't know if he somehow debriefed, because he went home. Like, he told the soldier, just let me go home. I don't want to go back to school. They're going to ask me too many questions and I don't feel like talking right now. So he went home, he talked to Ray. I think she asked if there was anything else, but he said no. I don't know if he there's too much missing time, because it was from he showed up, he talked to Ray, we cut, and he's on the balcony. So I don't know if that was like the next day. I think it was the next day, but there was too much time in which he could have like debriefed with other individuals. I don't know why he wouldn't debrief with her, and I don't know why he wouldn't relay that information, especially if all that first person POV that we got from Alia's perspective, if he did get to see that and he can't say it, I don't know why he wouldn't say it. So I feel like it could be like a situation where he did, like he went home. They said everybody's looking for him. Everyone's worried. So he got home. Oh gosh, he got home. He talked to Ray. Ray Ray told him how it was. He let all that emotion out. Ray was there for him. They went inside, like said his marks to everyone, and probably debriefed with other individuals in the academy, and then went away. And then Cynthia shows back up to talk to him again. So it's like to talk to him because we know about their relationship. We know their relationship. She's gonna see him outside of all of the official stuff, so she could have showed up, and he gives her the tags, and then if she asks if there's anything else, he could be like, nah, because he probably said everything he needed to at an earlier point. That's just me like filling in the gaps. We'll keep reading. We'll see if there's anything, if we get a confirmed answer. He doubt Good Sky a little bit. He's wary of everyone, but I don't think it's he doubts her because he doesn't trust her. I don't think it's that. I think it's just, or I don't even know, but I don't think it's that. He knows. Art knew something was up when the Atlantis was there, and she wouldn't tell him exactly what was going on. He knew something was up, and now, like, he found Alia, he found all those people. He knows what's up. Like, he knows all that information. Like he already had like inklings of everything that was going on, but now he knows. I think the only information that he doesn't know is the specifics that Cynthia does have. So, right? So he she doesn't want to involve him, but we'll see what his decision is. Does he force himself in? Does he try to stay out of the way? Does he just want to live this life on campus? Or does he feel convicted enough to involve himself because he was able to see so much? It's like, I don't care how much explaining to someone you do. At some point, because you were able to get that image firsthand, you might have a better chance. So I don't know. We'll see. Definitely see. What's up, Ren? I didn't say hi. We'll definitely see what he does. I'm super excited to read all these series. Now, how did Black Clover end? I'm moving over to Black Clover. Dang, so long-winded. One, I remember saying a couple of streams ago about how I knew Asta had a wing. I knew he had a wing from Jump Force because I played Jump Force. That was back when I had no intentions on reading Black Clover. I played Jump Force. I seen his ultimate. I was like, oh, he has a wing. Cool, whatever. But I didn't look at the volume cover. Yeah, now I know why. I didn't look at the volume cover. I had no idea it was about to happen. And how it happened, it really, like, even though I knew it was happening, I didn't, for some reason, nothing clicked. I was like, I know Asa has a wing, but the whole healing his arms and all this stuff, none of it clicked for me. Like, with any of the previous knowledge I knew. So when it happened, I was like, oh! I was like, oh, snap! Oh, snap! It felt good to stumble, like, to walk into that, like, blind and have that happen. And I was like, oh! It was so dope. But, this clear, I'm just reiterating what I said before. This Black Clover volume is easily my favorite volume. Just all of the stuff between Mars and what's his name? It starts with an L. It's Mars, it's Fanzel being the teacher, it's Mars, it's the dude, his name starts with an L, the one that can eat eat magic. And then, I can't believe I forgot their names. I just reread this last night. Ladros. It is Ladros. It's Ladros. That all that stuff and the girl's name. I'm about to pull it up. The girl's name. Because I remember last week asking, is that the girl from Mars? I felt like Fauna, thank you. I'm like, I remember saying that last time we were at book club, like, is that the same girl? I'm like, is that the same girl? Because Asta said, you have the, like, he mentioned something and she's like, no, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is that the same girl? It doesn't look like her. I don't remember what she looked like. I never went back to look at his flashback either. So I was like, is that her? And sure enough, it was her. I enjoyed that. So it didn't click for me. It didn't click. I'm telling you, that last grouping in the chapters just was fuzzy for me. I don't know what was going on. But it all clicked now. It clicked here. I was like, I just walked into it and it was like, oh my gosh. But I really loved it. Like literally, like I was sitting here earlier just thinking about my favorite characters in this series, and Mars, like if I really had to like really rank it right now, my top 5 is 6 characters because I have 2 tied, and I'm not going to do it the real way. So like if you have 5 characters and 2 are tied, so it's like if I have 2 number 1s, it would be number 1, number 3, number 4, number 5. That's how it should be. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have 2 characters at number 1. My 2 number 1 characters are Asta and Yami. Those are my 2 favorite characters in the series, easily. Like my profile for, like I had to sign up for Crunchyroll and let go of Funimation and Verve, let go of all that stuff because they got absorbed. So I had to like sign up for Crunchyroll and all that stuff. And my profile picture, I'm like, oh, I could be this character. And I see Yami's face, done. Done. Yami and Asta are my favorite characters. They're both tied at 1. My second favorite character, believe it or not, the little bit that we had of him, you know. I just appreciate how they really have a true rivalry and they're truly friends, and the relationship him and Asta have, even though he shows up every 3 volumes now, or 2 volumes. I love Yuno. He's my second favorite character. Third, Fuego Leon. Fuego Leon is my third favorite character. Easily. I started off hating him, and Draconic was like, you're not going to hate him for long. And I'm like, I'm going to hate him. And then I kept reading, and I was like, I don't hate him for long. I'm so mad that he's like out of action right now. I hope we could get him up. We could get his arm attached, that he's still alive. He's still with us. I just hope. Fourth favorite character, Mars. Legit. Fourth favorite character, Mars. Legit is my 4th favorite character. From the first time we got to see him and the amount that he developed. He showed up as your generic bad guy and generic edgy bad guy, and then you leave that first altercation, right? Really trying not to say anything. Yep. And you leave that first altercation with him like, dude, he didn't feel like a bad guy. You feel terrible for him. Like you got to see like what he went through to end up where he is now. And it's like, oh, he's been through hell. I don't think I hate this guy. And then he shows up again, and not only has he leveled up, he's gotten some status too. And then we get in this situation where you have Fanzel, Ladros, and Mars really doing this stuff, like going against each other, and Ladros goes too far, and Mars is like, dude, there's no reason to kill him. I'm not with this. And then you throw in the Fauna subplot too, and you tie it all together. We get a nice little boat for Mars in less than 100 chapters. We introduced his backstory, and we get a completion of it. Like we get to have that all nice tied up in a bow in 100 chapters. Like what? Like I'm sitting there like he's got who is he holding? He's holding oh gosh, what's her name? It starts with a V. His wife. He's holding his wife. I think he's holding her, and then Finzel's like right there because he saves her from Ladros about to kill her. And he's just like, nah, he's my master. I'm not letting you do that. And then they really just start. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I feel like a Muppet for not reading Black Clover sooner. I do. I feel like a straight Muppet. So good. Mars is great. I never finished my top 5. Yeah, Ladros is terrible. I can't stand him. He's effective. He is effective, but he talks a lot. If he shut up, he would get a lot done. He's like a character in My Hero. Talks too much. Like, he talks too... If you just shut up, you possibly would have killed off all the main characters. But you talk too much. Shut your yap. And he's got the big, huge, disgusting smile. I can't stand it. And my 5th favorite character is Noelle. So Yami and Asa tied for 1. Yuno is 2. Fuego Leon is 3. Mars is 4, and Noelle is 5. Those are my top 5 favorite characters. And believe it or not, from this arc alone, Vanessa's like in my top 10, like legit. Vanessa's in my top 10. I really do appreciate her. We'll get to her in a second. But man, how the whole Mars and Fauna and Fanzel, how that whole thing wrapped up, even though it's not completely wrapped up, but how it concluded with their friction and their separation for so long to where they are now was so good. It was so good. And then we get to, damn, how exactly does it happen? Because it goes from that, and Ladros gets back up and he attacks again, and then Ladros, his attack puts everyone down for the count, pretty much. And then the Witch Queen, and I love this. It's literally one of the reasons why I love Asta so much, because Asta's just such an idiot. He's such a dummy. But him being a dummy is what makes him so lovable. Yeah, he drained everyone when he attacked. I think that is because she was trying to use Fano was trying to use healing magic and it wouldn't work. Asta I just love him. It's just straight to action. He attacked once, it didn't work, and then he just yeeted the sword and it went into Ladros, and Ladros was just like, I can't pull it out. It's not working. And it's so good. But then to have the Witch Queen did like her statements, what she was saying. She was like, when I seen you, I thought you were one of, and it's doing the Tower of God thing where for 100 chapters, they'll all, like in Tower of God, they'll be like, he did this or they did that. And then they're talking about a character that they've yet to reveal yet, but they're trying to talk them up. And it'll be like, he did this and they did that and he went over there. He's responsible for this. It's like, stop saying he and just show me the character. And she starts doing that where it's just like, I thought he was like them, but he's not. And it's just like, he's so cursed and untalented that he's so strong because of it. Like, because he's so cursed, he is able to use these swords. He's strong enough to wield these blades. And that makes him special. And then she activates it and tries to control him. And he fights it back. Like, he fights it back. Right? He fights it back. So it's not like someone has stepped in and put guides in for him. It's just like, nobody. I'm the one in charge. And wipes Ladros out. I wanted him to cleave him in too, but he almost did it. He was almost there. But it's the first time where did he cut Ladros, or was that like some goopy black magic? Not magic, or some black anti-magic that was on him? Or is this the first time that Asta drew blood on someone? Like, truly, like, cut them and split them wide open. I wanted him to cleave them in two. I felt like with that attack, how it was drawn, it felt like Asta was piercing through the page. I felt like he should have been cut in half. clean in half. He should have slid apart. It should have been. And that I love that part, because I'm like, Asta's first time using this power, fought back whatever the hell was in him, took use of the power, and then the Witch Queen's just like, you're mine now, and turns him into a puppet. And that really had me freaked out for a second. Because we seen, like, at the same time Vanessa's ability starting to activate with the cat and all that stuff. But when he cut and her head flew, I was like, yo, I was freaking out. I was like, yo, and then Vanessa lost it too, but then her ability activated. It took me a second to realize what was happening. It's like it activated, and then it like went back, and then the blade missed, and the Witch Queen's like, what happened? Like, and it's just like she's got him running through all of them that she put up to be executed. And she's just going through, making Asta try to kill all of them. And each death would have been completely brutal. Thank goodness for Vanessa. Thank goodness for Vanessa. Because Asta would have murdered all of them, and he would be her demon puppet forever. But it's just the imagery, the way it was drawn, the way how it was done, it makes you hate the Witch Queen even more. Because you already have a little bit of disdain for the Witch Queen, because I know for me anyways, like, and it's not up to this point, Vanessa was like a cool character. From the last arc towards the end of it, I started to like Vanessa more, like even more for like her assets. But I started to really like Vanessa just because of how Finral and her and Asta had the teamwork together, and how much you really get to view how much she like is starting to like care for Asta, and he's really become like the heart and soul of like the Black Bulls. So now you get to this and you see her tears and you see everything. It amplifies it even more, because because for me it's like it makes me have more disdain for the Witch Queen than I already did. It makes me hate the Witch Queen even more than I did. And I'm just like, very well done. Very, 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 very well done. It's very well done. Pretty sure they still remember being killed by Asa multiple times. Oh my gosh. Now I wonder how that's gonna be on their relationship. See, this is where I'm pissed off where it ended. It ended off and it's just like 3 nasty cliffhangers for each series that we're reading. It just ends and then ends. Like, I need more. Asta, this the Forest of Witches, the Witches Forest. This is my favorite arc so far. It is. It's my favorite arc so far, and I like all the arcs. This is not an arc that I don't like. I like all the arcs. This is my favorite one. This 11th volume is my favorite volume of the series so far. I'm only on volume 11, but so far, this arc is great. It's real. I really like it. I like how they infiltrated. I like the reason why they infiltrated. I like how they infiltrated. I like the individuals that they met to get them here. I appreciate seeing the Witches Forest and how they interact. As much as I hate the Witch Queen, I enjoy her character, because that means I don't dislike her just for stupid reasons. I dislike her for the action she's doing. Even though, like you're saying, Draconic, her actions could be a part of like a bigger game that she's playing. It just means that I really buy what she's doing, and I really don't like it. And I like that part, and then having all of the Diamond Kingdom people show up, and then the whole Mars. I'm not even gonna say a Mars turn, because I don't think he's gonna defect from the Diamond Kingdom. I think he's probably gonna take. That's a good question. Would he defect from the Diamond Kingdom? Because how he grew up with Fanzel and what Fanzel taught him is not what the Diamond Kingdom is anymore. And it doesn't feel like they share the same sentiments. I feel like they're two completely different things, especially from what Fanzel taught him and Ladros to the experiments they underwent after Ladros defected. So it makes me wonder, is there a possibility, could Mars defect, or would he go back? Would he take Fauna back to the Diamond Kingdom? I feel like he wouldn't. That's a good question. Will they just go somewhere else? Well, I didn't even think about that when I was reading. I like all that stuff. Maybe if I reread, I might have some better insight. Who knows? From what he said there's some guy in the shadows in charge now, so I think he would leave. Yeah, he did say that. And I was trying to pick up a little information from what Fauna said, how she was like, I only remember this little bit, and it was like the silhouette of the people who experimented on her, threw her away, and then licked. That's how you pronounce his name, right? Showing up, it's like his silhouette. You could tell it's like the flowing braids and stuff showing up and like saving her, and she doesn't remember anything else. I was trying to see if there's anything else there. Black Clover's great. If you're not reading Black Clover, read it, even though the only people that are here have read Black Clover. So that's all I got. That is all I got for these series so far. As a grouping of chapters to read this week, this book club, this 11th book club, was my favorite. From Bastard, from the beginning after the end, and from Black Clover, all three were fire. So just to set up for next week, we're gonna read chapters 21 to 30 for Bastard. We're gonna read that Thursday evening. So I'm gonna get home. We're gonna do Omniscient Reader. I don't have a meeting this week, so Omniscient Reader is going to be at its regularly scheduled time that I planned it for, which is 4:45 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing the beginning after the end. No, we'll be doing Bastard, excuse me, after that. So that evening, if you're not a part of the book club tag, ask on Discord. We'll assign it to you, and I'll ping out to the Discord only whenever I start reading. I did it last week. I don't know if there was that many people that got the ping. I don't know how it works. I didn't set it up. I don't know how to set it up. I trust the mods with it. But I'll ping whenever I start to read. So it would be Thursday evening for me. It might be Friday for some people. It might be later Thursday for some people. It might be earlier for some people. I'm not sure. Just adjust accordingly. It'd be around, I'll give it like 7 or 8 Eastern Standard Time, around that time. So adjust accordingly. Sorry, I wish I could be better with time zones and all that stuff. Friday, we will then be doing the beginning after the end. It'll be around the same time, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll ping out when I'm going to read the beginning after the end. And then Black Clover, I think I'll read it Sunday night, because Saturday I'm planning on doing, it's going to be getting back in the form, doing multiple streams in one day. And I'm thinking about doing a movie night as well. So, I'll do Black Clover on Sunday night, and again, same time, 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll ping out when I start to read. So that's the plan moving forward. 21 to 30 for Bastard Thursday. The beginning after the end will be, is it 121 to 130, and then it would be 121 to 130, and then next week will be the catch-up stream. So we'll do whatever's left. Whatever's left. So we have 2 more book clubs with the beginning after the end. And depending on the release schedule, it's been 2 weeks, I don't know. Depending on which day beginning after the end drops, I'm not necessarily sure I want to do a live reaction for it. I think I might want to keep it in book club, and I'll be able to add a 3rd series and then do the beginning after the end as well in it as the review. So I think that might be what I do. I might keep it in book club and just talk about it like we've been. It usually drops on Fridays. That works. So it'll drop on Fridays. I'll ping it in. I don't want to turn that into a live read. I don't want to. I'll ping it in the Discord when I read it, So whenever I get the chance, I'll probably do that. I'll probably have to dial it in, and then I'll review it. I'll keep it in book club. So every Tuesday we'll talk about the latest chapter that came out. So that is the plan, and it'll never leave the book clubs. It'll never leave book club's thumbnail. Even if the other 3 series are something else, it'll always have its one little spot. So that's the plan. We'll see if I stick to it. I had a conversation with my brother-in-law yesterday, and he was like, "Soon, son." He was basically, because I was like, stressing some lifetime membership. Yep, I was stressing some thoughts on just how I feel about YouTube and YouTubing, and picking up something else. There's a chance I could do something else in regards to YouTube, some sort of podcast. But in addition to that, just about where to take the channel and how I'm hamstrung by working a full-time job during the day. It takes all my energy and time. So hopefully sooner rather than later, I can get the channel to be actually what I want it to be, which is more of this, less reacting, more of this, more talking, more of these experiences. So I'm definitely trying to make it work. Thank you guys for hanging out. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm gonna stick to the plan. I'm gonna try to stick to the plan and make this work. So if you're interested in Omniscient Reader, we'll be here Thursday to read chapter 94. And for my book club peeps, I will see you Thursday evening for Bastards. So thank you guys again. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week. If I don't see you for any one of those days, you can do it for the Discord and then record it for upload. You could just do this on Discord and record. You know what? This is why you guys are in my life. I'll talk to you more about it later. I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully, God willing, guys, see you guys next week, and I'll talk to you. Peace out.